Hello viewers, in today's video we are going to show the interface of a STAAD Pro, how to work over there, what are those things which we need to know in the STAAD Pro before starting. So this is the basic interface of STAAD Pro. This is the series 4 STAAD Pro software. Here this is for the new project, this is for the open project. If you have any created another project, you can open from here. Here you can make the changes in configuration if you need. Here is the backup manager, license management. From here you can change the unit. Here you can see the file option. If you want to give an input output joint member plate solid, here you can select. Apart from this, there is the stat default. If you want to change the default code over here, you can select the different codes if you need from here. These are those you can change also from the interface of the STAAD Pro. Just for now, we are going to start for the new project. Just click on new project. Just select these are those platform where we model the project. If you want to design a truss, you can just select the truss for space and plane. Basically, we start the project over the plane surface. In the space, just select the space. Here you can see it is a three-dimensional frame structure in which the load applied in any plane is it is the most general. If you select the plane, you can just see in the plane it is bounded by a global XY coordinate system with the load in the same plane. In the floor, here you can see the structure in the is a 2D and three-dimensional structure having no horizontal movement of the structure. The floor for framing is an ideal example of a floor structure, and similarly in the truss it is consist of the truss member which can have only the axial member force. So for now we are going to select the space. Here you can select the length unit according to your project. If you want it in foot, if you want in meter, you can just select, and similarly you can select the force unit. It might be the kilonewton, newton. If you need and any other unit, you can select from here. Just click on next. Just click. If you have here you can see what you want. You want to add beam, add plate, add a solid structure like this. If you want to add a plate like this, you can just select from here. This is the open structure wizard. I have a video over my channel on this, how to use the structure wizard and how to open the STAAD editor. If you want to use the STAAD editor directly to create the nodes or the beam, just for now just select the add beam, and here you can see the interface of the STAAD Pro. In this you can see this is a 10 by 10 grid. Each one has a distance of 1 meter. If you want to edit this, you can just click on edit. You can select here. You can see this is the linear. If you want to create a radial or some like this, just click on radial. You can see a radial frame over here. If you want to design for a irregular shape, you can just select the irregular also. Irregular means if you want 10 rows in 10 rows and 5 column, you can just do this from here. Now let's see what are those commands which has been shown on this file. You can see this is to create a new structure, this is to open the structure, this is to close the structure, this is to save the file. These are those is isometric views. These are the views which we need. This is the Z frame. If you want to see your structure in Z axis, you can see this is the plus Z and this is for the minus Z. If you want to see the structure from the back, this is the side one. If you want to see from the X axis, if you want to see from the minus X axis, this is for the plus Y and this is for the minus Y, and this is the isometric view. If you want to see any structure in the isometric view, this is the grid which shows in which axis we are working over here. Apart from this, these are for the rotation. If you want to rotate your structure up or down, this is for the rotation of the structure. For the left, right, if you want to rotate, and this is also the rotation toggle mode on. This is for the control shift and click on the node to change the center of rotation. If you want to change the center of rotation of any node, you can change the center of rotation from here also. Now this is for the displaying of whole structure. If you want to see, this is for the zooming the structure. If you have want to zoom the structure, you can zoom it from here. This is now for the zoom out, zoom in, and zoom out. And this is for the zoom factor. If you want to assign a fixed zoom factor, if you want to assign, you can directly assign the zoom factor over here also. Now we will see, this is for the add beam command. If you want to add a beam from anywhere, suppose you have just connected these nodes, this is how we can create a node. This is for the creating a four noded plate, and this will just, if you want to create a node, this is for the four. I have only three nodes, so I cannot create right now. Like, let's suppose we have created this. If you want to see this, if you see this, this is for the 3D rendering view. If you see, this is my plate. If I have created, this is like that. This will soon like this. If you want to change the color of these plate, you can change also. We will see that later. Now this is for adding a surface. If you want to add a surface over here, just select all the nodes. You can create the structure according to you. This is for creating a, in this you have to just select the first node and select all the node, and add the first node where from where you have started the structure to create a surface plate. This will look like this. If you, and apart from this, this is the 8 noded structure. If you want to create a 8 noded structure, you can just create from here. This is the mesh. If you want to see the structure where is the node has been created, you can just see directly. If you want to make some changes, you can also make some changes from here also. Apart from this, this is the, if you want to insert any node on the existing structure, you can just provide the distance. This is for this, this is the meshing of the structure. If you want to create a mesh on the structure, just select all the nodes, and it will ask you to just select the structure. It will ask you for the polygon meshing or quadrilateral meshing. If here just providing the quadrilateral, it will just delete all the plate, and this will, here you can select. If you want to provide the division, closer division, just select all those division to different numbers. If you want to a closer mesh, you can just provide the digit more than this 5 or more than 10 or 12. It depends on you how close you want your mesh. Apart from this, this is for the transitional repeat. If you just want to design the same floor over above the first floor or second floor, you can just use this transitional repeat. This is for the rotational repeat. If you are designing a circular structure, you can just use this for creating a 3D circular structure. This is for the mirror image. If you have the structure, it will just similar create a same structure like this is will just create a, here you can just provide in which plane you want to create the mirror structure, at what distance you want to, if you want to move or copy the structure, you can just see how it work. Apart from this, these are those parameters which we use here. This is the table format. If you want to select the what you want, here you can section, see the section property, material support which you want to. Here you can see the input unit, which unit you are using. You here, from here you can also change this input unit. Apart from this, if you want to change from here, you can just go and view. From here you can also see different options. From here you can see the dimension of beams. If you want to see the dimension of, just click on display, it will show you all the dimensions which has been provided to those beams. Apart from this, this is for the cut section. If you want to cut a section in XY plane, from which node you want to cut, this will cut a structure. This is for the uh, symbol and label. If you want to provide the node numbers, if you want to see the dimension, if you want to see the node point, these have different shortcuts also. I have a video on my channel regarding this. Kindly go through that video also for those all the uh, shortcuts which we use in the STAAD Pro. Apart from this, here you can see that all those dimension which I have shown. If you want to remove this, you can remove all those dimensions also. Now here this is to show the display from distance from the node to node. If you want to see the distance, it can show you. Like suppose just select those nodes from which you want to see, it will show you the distance between the nodes also. Here you can see if you want to remove all those distance, you can just click on this. This is for the as to show the distance, and if you want to remove, just click on this to remove those distance also. Apart, when we have just created the model, we have multiple things to do. Just create assigning those geometries. This is the geometry which has been created here. You can see those beams and the nodes which we have created over here. In the journal setting, you can just define the properties. If in the journal setting, you can just define the properties. Here you can just add, click on edit, and you can see different things just like in section database, material thickness. If you want to just assign those column beams, you can just select from here which type of column. This is the for the steel structure, this is for the cold frame steel. If you want to use the timber, you can just select the timber also, and this is for the aluminum surface. Here if you want to assign the properties, you can just assign. If you just click on this define, and here you can select which type of material you are going to use, which type of column you are going to use. Either it will be a circular, either it may be a rectangular column, it may be a trapezoidal. It depends on the structure, what kind of structure. Here you can assign the diameter also. Here you can assign the length and breadth in the z and y direction. It just here you can assign those properties. After that, assigning the properties, you have to just provide the support. Here you can just create a new support. What kind of support your structure is needed? It might be a fixed, pinned, fixed, but if you want to move in any direction, enforced, it might be inclined, it might be a foundation. Which kind of foundation footing provided you are to provide over the structure. After assigning the support, we are going to assign the load and definition. In the load and definition, there are different cases. If you want, these are those type of load. It might be a dead load, live load. It might be a roof load. Which kind of load is going to apply on the structure? If you can select from here. After assigning after assigning any load, you have just click on this load cases. Here you can add what kind of load. It might be a self weight. If you want to assign any member load, uniformly moment concentrated force, you can assign from here. If you have a floor load, you can just select from here floor load. If your structure is going to get some seismic, you can define the seismic directions, but this is to be assigned from over here in the definition. Just go on the seismic definition. From here you first select what kind of code you are going to use for this seismic parameters. Suppose as I am going to use for the IS 1893 2000 1894. If you want to include the accidental load, you can just click here. You can just change the value according to which type of zone you are going to. Just select this code. Here you can see, just clicking on generate, you can see there are different parameters in which city, in which zone we are seeing for this type of load. Suppose we are in Delhi, that is in zone 5, then the impedance factor for this is 0.24. If you living in another city, you can just see. If you want to select from the zone, just select zone 5, zone 4. It depends in which how you in which zone you are going to design your seismic structure. Here you can see change. If you want to change anything, what kind of soil is there, what kind of structure is this. It is a frame structure, all other buildings structure. It depends on how the structure is going to design over there, how the structure is going to be constructed on that side. After assigning the load and definition, just go for the uh, this analysis and print, so that you can check that your structure is fine or not. That structure is going to assign that the structure is going to assign those properties which you have assigned. Let me show you one structure. which I have created. This is a basic structure. This is a G+4 structure which I have designed over there just for the education purpose. Here you can see in the geometry, you can see all the nodes which has been assigned and also all those beam which has been created between which node. Here you can see what the distance between the nodes. If you just see, this is the beam between the 80, 61 and 62 node number. That means this is the 61 and 62 node number. You can just click on this. You can see what kind of dimension of those beams, and here in the structure you can see this is the green side shows the starting of the beam, and the blue side showing the ending of the structure. Similarly, if you see the other beam, the green is showing the starting of a beam and the blue is showing the ending of the beam. Here in this structure, if you go in the journal, you can see that there are two type of column: rectangular column of the dimension 0.45 into 0.3, similarly 0.3 into 0.35, and this has been assigned 0.45 into the columns and 30 into 35 into the all other beams apart from the columns. Similarly, in this you can just see the support. Here you can see this fixed support has been provided over here. Similarly, in the load cases, this is a basic structure, so I have just created the dead load, and apart from dead load, it's just only the self weight. Apart from this, I have just created, if you go in the load cases, just click on add and just click on auto load combination. According to the Indian codes, it has been just created all the loads which has been, which click on design section. You can see all those which has been we have provided. Here you can see, here you can see which has been. If you just analyze those structure, just click on Control plus F5, or just go from run analysis and just click on run analysis. It will show you the analysis and design for this structure. Here you can see, you just find zero error, zero warning as zero node. If you want to see the output file, you can just go and click on output, see the output file. This is the output file. Here you can see the node numbers which has been assigned. Here you can see number of joints, number of members, number of supports which has been provided. Here you can see for the design result, in this will show you the top and bottom reinforcement, and how what number of beams, what number of reinforcement has to be provided for the different type of beams. Here you can see the shear design for this in the concrete design. If you just go to the result section, just click on concrete design, you can see how much quantity is to be needed for the concrete, and also the bar dia, how much weight of the bar you are going to use. This is how we work on the STAAD Pro to design a structure. Thank you for watching. If you found anything, just comment me. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.